Guys, how we doing today? Today I am going to create another self-help video for you guys so that you can begin, as I've always talked about, and I put forth, is the beginning of awareness is the beginning of understanding. The beginning of understanding is the beginning of knowledge and self-worth. Okay, the beginning of awareness is the beginning of understanding. The beginning of understanding, in other words, is power. So it is all about awareness. All right, so today what we're going to talk about today is the mind, our minds. How does our mind work in relationship to the creation process, the universe? How does everything come together? How can I manifest this? How can I manifest the house? What is the process? What stops me? What prevents me? What makes me bring things, or what creates things that I bring into my mind? And is the mind just an illusion? Is these things real? Is this car I'm feeling real? Is whatever I'm perceiving or perception, is it really real? See guys, once we have an understanding or an awareness of how things work, then guess what? The power now, you can create, okay? Yes, it's a great day to be alive, and a great day to be abundantly prosperous and blessed. So I'm going to give you guys now, we're going to talk a little bit about some science, neuroscience, and also just the quantum world. So follow me, I will make it as simple as possible so we all can grasp the concepts. I'll use analogies and to get you guys into the flow, okay? So look, if I say to you today that maybe 99% of every individual, 90% of all individuals, if you're watching this channel right now, I can guarantee you with confidence that 99% of individuals, you think you're in control of your mind, but I can show you that your mind is in control of you, and I can give you the awareness to show you how it works, and then by having awareness you can take back control and be the master of your mind. So let's go into the mind first and how it works, okay? So your mind is that part of you, or the part of your essence that controls. It thinks, it reasons, it analyzes, okay? It's analytical. Now the mind exists within the brain. So here's the thing we want to understand. The brain is a tool. It's like a machine. Your mind uses the brain to communicate and perceive what you see, what you feel in this perceived physical reality, and it does this through your primary senses, okay? Seeing, tasting, touching, smelling. Okay, here's something we must understand about your mind now. Your mind has two parts. Keep this in mind. It actually has three parts, but we'll talk about two parts today, okay? The main important part. Part one is conscious mind. Conscious mind houses what? Rational mind. What is the rational mind? The egotistical part of your mind. It can reason, it can rationalize, it thinks, so therefore it is, okay? That's part one. Then the most important part is your subconscious mind, and I've always talked about how powerful your subconscious mind is and how it works to create. So let's go into the conscious mind now. How does the conscious mind controls this? What is the difference between the conscious and the subconscious? So look, if I can tell you today that you can actually use your conscious mind just to do the job it is designed to do. What is the job it is designed to do? It is designed to give the command code, or the commands, to your subconscious mind. Okay, that's it. I can show you how you can use your conscious mind as a tool. Use it, put it down, quiet the ego. I can show you how to do all that because it is just a tool. Did you know that 90% of your thoughts are repetitive? Think about that. 90% of everything you think about the same thing 90% of the time. So what is the purpose of the conscious mind? If our mind is so grand in the scheme of things, why do we think about the same thing every single day 90% of the time? Why can't we expand it? What's that? See? Your mind is limited, the conscious part of your mind. Here's a big clue you want to understand about your conscious mind, how it can give you the illusion. Your conscious mind and the ego believes it creates your reality. So by that essence right there, if your conscious mind believes it creates your reality, you're already a prisoner of it, and you're already an illusion of it, because it thinks it creates your reality. Why? The ego lives in its own world, because the ego, the conditioned part of your mind, it can reason, it can rationalize, it thinks, it can analyze. So because it can think and reason, it comes up with theories or events or experiences to prove to you that, hey, this is all there is. But keep in mind, guys, that part of your mind is finite. What does finite mean? It's limited. You cannot reach your full potential with that part of your mind. So how does it get you back? It gets you back in control with what is known as emotions or feelings, which these emotions and feelings, they impart from your subconscious. So anytime you are off alignment or off vibration, you will get your feelings. So whenever you feel doubt, fear, worry, it is that part of your mind, the conscious part of your mind, bringing you back into the reality of its world, the egotistical world. That's how it fights you. Here's the thing you must realize: that egotistical part of your mind is just doing its job. The job of the conscious mind is to keep things the way it is, to keep things in a constant revolving sequence. It doesn't like change. Okay? The primary job of the conscious mind is to keep you alive. It doesn't care if you're happy, if you have money, if you're sad. That doesn't care about that. It just wants to keep you in the world. And key point, does believe it creates your reality. So your subconscious mind has no idea. Your conscious mind has no idea your subconscious mind creates. So when you feel doubt, fear, lack, and worry, it is a signal from the conscious mind, okay? Now the fear, lack, and worry comes up as an emotion from your subconscious mind, okay? So what your subconscious mind is saying to you is, look, you're feeling these emotions because something is not right. You are not aligned. There's something that you desire that you're not getting, okay? That is the miscommunication between both parts of the mind. So already, if you're using your conscious mind to live your life and to create and to manifest, then you are already a prisoner. You are living in an illusion, because it does not create. Just because it thinks it creates doesn't mean anything. And here's how it proves it to you even more. It creates by things that you think about from the past and brings it into a perceived future. Here's a biggest tip. It is an illusion. It uses time. According to quantum physics, time doesn't exist the way that we perceive it. The only time it exists is this moment right now, okay? The now is the only time there is. There is no future, there is no past. Past memory stored within the mind, former now, future perception from the conscious mind into something that is not actually here. Look, do something right now, tomorrow, impossible. Do something right now, yesterday, impossible. Okay? Illusion. Now is the only time that exists, because here's the biggest clue. Your subconscious mind, which is the part of your mind that creates it, perception of time is now. Everything that is happening now within your subconscious mind. Not tomorrow, not next week. It's right now, okay? And key point is, you can only create when you're in the now. That is known as your point of power. So that is the biggest trick your conscious mind plays on you, excuse me, by using time to rationalize or to make you think that, hey, there's something better out there for me. The future's brighter, the future's this. I'll be happier when I get to the future. But all you have to realize, guys, there is no future. It is right now, in this moment. Moment to moment to moment creates what is the perceived future. So if you're sacrificing your now and looking for something better, when you get to that better, you will still be in a now, and guess what will happen? Where is it? Where's the bright future? You don't have it, so your mind will chase and chase and chase. That is the biggest recipe for disaster, unhappiness, and unfulfilled life. So you must have an awareness of that part of your mind. Okay, so now we know conscious mind can be an illusion. It tricks us, uses the ego. So how do we get it to where we want to? Well, you get it to where you want to by having the awareness and then learning how the mind works, methods, techniques, and you can use those to bring you back into the present moment. Okay, now, how about reality? So, Mark, I am touching this car here. It feels real to me. Well, let's talk about that. Of course, we all know that all matter, everything in the universe and substances, even the air right now, the thoughts, they're all made from particles known as atoms. Now, the thing with these particles or atoms, they are invisible to the naked eye, and the only way we can see these particles is by using special instruments or microscopes. But in essence, these particles are all energy, okay? And they're bound together by forces. They're bound together by the forces of, we have the weak nuclear force, strong force of gravity, we have electromagnetic force, we have the electromagnetic force of magnetism, and we have the electromagnetic light spectrum. These are all the forces that bind these parts together, and when they bind together, it's by the forces that bind them together that you can perceive something to be real. It's an illusion of being real, because remember, your brain sees things and perceives things with what? Your predominant senses. So if I am touching, let's say I am touching this Bluetooth here, my hands are on it, I can guarantee you with 100% accuracy, and this is proven through quantum physics, that my hands and my fingers aren't really touching this. Here's what's happening. The electrons in my fingers and the electrons in this instrument here, they repel each other, okay? When you have two like forces of matter coming together, they will repel. So the electrons in my hands, electrons in this repel each other, and it's not touching. It feels like it's touching, but there's actually a quantum space right there. Just like when you put two opposing magnets together and you get that repulsion, that is exactly what's happening. And what's keeping it together? That force. The force of what? The electromagnetic force. Okay? Who controls that force? Electromagnetic force. Who controls the force? Because look, the entity that controls that force is the universe, God, the I am. So here's what happened. If God says, you know what, I decide I'm going to turn off the electromagnetic force, then guess what? Now my hands, I can literally, not matter, I can literally put my hands through this car and go right through this car. I can literally start walking through walls. That is the only force that stops us, guys. Keep that in mind now. I just said that, yeah. You can literally walk through the wall if you turn off the force. Okay? Or if you turn off the force, we're standing on the ground. Remember, electrons from your body and electrons from the asphalt or the ground, they repel each other and they balance it out. So if that force is turned off, boom, yes, you'll actually fall right through the air. This is proven, quantum physics. Maybe hard for a lot to grasp, but this is how it works, okay? Now look, once you have an awareness that, okay, Mark, so my reality is not what it seems, and I perceive things the way they are. So what does that mean? What's the big deal about that? Well, the big deal is this. If your reality is changeable, then you're just seeing a small spectrum of it. That means there is things out there that you cannot understand or you cannot grasp, because we're just seeing these small bits of it. You're not perceiving the real reality. In other words, the real reality is this. It's all energy, vibration, and frequencies in a blank space. Reality means nothing. There's nothing. Reality is empty space. It's basically nothing. Okay? Our minds and our brains produce illusions of things that we perceive to see. And the reason why we see the things we perceive to see, the reason why you and I can see the same thing, is just because that's how our brain is hardwired. We all have these hardwired in our minds to perceive the same things. That's why you can say, hey, that looks like a car. Yeah, that looks like a car, because that's how our minds are wired. But real reality is what? Empty space. A quantum particle or an atom, when you dissect it, it is nothing but electrons orbiting it, and beneath the atom you have quarks, which are even smaller particles, and they're orbiting, and it's this big empty space. There's nothing there. So yes, your reality is big space, nothing, empty space. Okay, you fill it in with your thoughts and your feelings. Okay, so that is huge. So how can you create? Now you know that you can create now by what? Things you perceive. Your consciousness controls the particles, and you can perceive them and you can create them. All right, let's go back to the mind. So we talked about conscious mind, subconscious mind. Conscious mind, what? Likes to keep you hostage, keeps you in check with the egotistical part of the mind. Now here's something important you must understand, guys. When you create or manifest, this is according to manifestation now. When you create, remember now, you never create. Things are already created for you. Here's a perfect analogy for you to keep in mind. Look at your mind or your consciousness as this. The universe is one big warehouse. You know, when you go online on the internet, you go to Amazon, you want to order some products, they have you log on the computer, okay? Logging on would be the mind, the thinking. So you go in, logging on. Now you start to search. Searching what would be what? The thought, the things. Okay. Now you see what you want. Okay, I want to get this purse, or I want to get this this car charger, or this radio. Okay. So you found what you want. It's part. Okay. So the mind, thinking, you bring it up. You see it in the mind. Now you go into the warehouse, which is the universe that has it. It's already in the shop. So everything is stored in the warehouse right now. Okay. So what we do now, we use our consciousness now, and now we go to our subconscious mind. And what the subconscious mind does, it now creates a what? Doesn't create anything. It doesn't create remember, the universe has everything. It's in there. Remember quantum states, the quantum physics. Remember, reality exists as waves, as probabilities, possibilities, and chances. So that means everything that you want or desire has already been created out there for you. And the reason why is because what? You live in an infinite universe. Because it's infinite, that means there's high probabilities or chance that the same thing must repeat. It must be there. It must be created. Impossible not to be. Okay? So everything is already there. A house, a car, a money, a mate, whatever. It's in that big warehouse. So now you want to bring it in. And what you do to bring it in is you use your subconscious mind. Okay? Okay. Here's how it works. Your subconscious mind now does not create. It creates a electromagnetic frequency. That electromagnetic frequency now will go out into that warehouse, and the law of attraction will be, let's say, the UPS truck that will go pick out your package from the warehouse or the universe. That radio that you thought and seen, now it brings it to you, attracts it to you, boom, you experience it. Okay? That's what I want to keep in mind. Here's a big tip now. In order to get the mind to work functionally the way it is, we must, one, have an awareness, but two, we must remove our core beliefs, or our limiting beliefs. That's big T. I always talk about that, and you guys are aware of how it works. But if you don't have an awareness of how it works, then this will be a big stop or a stepping stone from preventing you to create or manifest. So those are just some quick tips on how your mind works, guys. Must be aware of it to keep the mind. Be aware of the ego part of the mind, and of course that is just some things I want you to comprehend and understand. And when you can have the awareness to see that your mind is the power, then you can bring things in very easily, because now you see that reality really is just an illusion of thought and perception. Energy vibrates, it magnetizes, and it brings it in. And this concept alone is huge, because once you have an understanding of this part of the concept, then you can say, wow, man, so I can really create what I desire. I can really bring this in or that in. It's that I can do it. Yes, you can. But of course it takes time, and you have to know the process, the layers to get through. First, remove our core beliefs, know how the mind works. You got to know how to control it, to use it. And this is how I teach when I coach. I teach you how to use the ego, how to get it to calm down, how to get it to be a helper and a hinderer, how to speak the language of your subconscious, how to get things to create, to manifest, the laws of vibration, to know the alignment process. All these are covered when I do the mentor and the coaching, and that is what I bring you in to get your mind. Now I want, of course I help as many as I can, and I love to do this. That's why I put these videos out that, guys, you can take advantage. If you can't get into the coaching sessions with me, then this is the great format or platform for you to use to get some of the things. But if you find it difficult and you can't grasp, and you say, hey, I have to learn more, I want to control my mind, I want to create, then that's where I come in to help with the coaching. And of course you can always contact me with that through mhoughton76@gmail.com. So guys, again, the power is within your mind. Now you have an awareness of how your mind can trick you and give you the illusion, the egotistical part of your mind. And here's a big tip for you to continue. Look, to bypass the egotistical part of your mind, what is we just talked about it, what? Awareness. So now if you see your mind, and you know your mind is 90% repetitive of thoughts and things, okay? Now you know that. Now you see how the mind works. Now you can bypass it. And here's a big tip. You bypass the conscious mind with your feelings and emotions. Okay, that is how you bypass it. First, have an awareness of what it does, and you bypass it with feelings and emotions. You can't always trust it, because it cannot take you to where you want to be. Okay? Remember, guys, this is neuroscience. This is proven. Okay? You believe it when you see it. Okay? So those are some tips that I want to leave you guys with. and to know how your mind works. If only we learned all this in the beginning. Yes, if only we learned all this in the beginning, okay? Yes, the knowledge is there. Okay, guys. Look, guys, you know, a lot of this will be hard for a lot of individuals to grasp because, you know, if you don't have an awareness of how it works, you just don't know, and your mind will tell you, hey, this is not real, I can't understand it. But if you know how the science works, and if you know how the universe works on a quantum scale and on the neuroscience parts of the brain, then you will see how it works, and you can bring this in, okay? So a lot of individuals out there are maybe ignorant to this information because they cannot concept it, they don't know how it works. Just like an individual, they can say, hey Mark, what is this? This is BS. There's no such thing as this. Then I say, okay, what is gravity? Gravity is a force that attracts, pulls in. Okay, you don't believe in gravity, you can't see it. I say jump. They'll jump. I say, I bet you will come down. They'll come down. You just been forced or pulled down by gravity. So just because you don't believe it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It doesn't care. The law of the universe doesn't care if you believe it. It's going to affect you one way or the other. You're going to be pulled into it. So keep that in mind. Okay, guys? The universe has specific mathematical laws that works to keep things in a constant harmonizing frequency wave. Okay? That is it. You create it with thoughts, frequency, emotions. Bring it in. Boom. Creation, manifestation. And now you will live the life that you truly desire because now you have the keys. Okay? Now you have the keys to create, to manifest. Your lives now will be surprisingly abundant because you can control it. Controlling your thinking is the main factor and the key. How can I turn my subconscious mind on? Look, your subconscious mind is always on. It can never be turned off. It is always listening and taking direction based on your feelings and your emotions. Okay? Remember, we live in an attraction universe. Okay? We attract and we pull in based on the frequency we put out. So your subconscious mind is always on. The question you really want to ask is, how can I get my subconscious mind to turn on to bring me the things that I desire? That's what you want, really question you want to ask. Okay? You want to ask, how can I turn my subconscious mind on to be what? A deliberate creator than a default creator. Because subconscious mind never rests 24/7, 365, no time. It doesn't have an awareness of time. It is unlimited. Unlimited potential means what? Infinite knowledge, okay? So this is big key. The words you say, the way you feel, the way you think, subconscious mind is always what? Listening, watching, and doing. Okay? It is a what? A prover and a doer. Conscious is the thinker and the sayer. Subconscious goes out, proves it, does it, creates it by what? Sending that frequency out, matching it, and you get it. So those are tips. Careful of what you say, what you think, how you feel. Okay? So everything is an illusion. Yes, listen, everything is an illusion, meaning that the things that you're seeing are perceived physically real to you because remember, I just told you, we are all made from the same particles, which are quantum particles, atoms. And an atom is all empty space. The air, right now, this air has the same molecules and it's made from the same exact particles that you and I are made of. And look, the air is invisible. Okay? The reason why the things appear to be the things they are because they are arranged in what? Different properties and the forces that bind them together, the electromagnetic force, the weak nuclear force, okay, the electromagnetic spectrum, which is light. They put them together. Our brains perceives them. Remember, you see through your brain through what? An electrical signal. That's it. Electrical signal goes into the visionary cortex of your brain and you perceive an image. That's it. So you see what your brain put out. So how can you know if this is real? And I just showed you, look, everything you touch right now has a repulsion. It repels because of electrons of the same magnitude and portions put out. So yes, indeed, illusion. Okay? Perception is your reality. What you see and feel, you will bring in and create. Okay, guys? So this information should be taught in schools, but of course, you know, when information is dramatic and profound as these things, it really takes time for some of us to grasp the concept because of our minds have been programmed to think differently. Remember that, okay? So you take it with a grain of salt, so to speak, and you take your time and you do the study and you see for yourself how it works, and then boom, it clicks. Okay, this is how we create, this is how I create, this is how everybody creates, this is how the platform on the Facebook page that they create. And you see that you've already created, manifested millions of dollars already within a short 6-month time frame, and shows you the power of your mind. Okay, that's how you work, guys. I know. So those are some techniques and tips that I want to leave you guys with today. And of course, feel free to contact me, mhoughton76@gmail.com. Remember, awareness is what? The key. I'll take time for one more question. Can we manifest without action? Yes, action. Actually, guys, look, action is the last step towards manifestation. You already manifest by your thoughts and your feelings. The action now comes in part when your subconscious mind gives you the nudge or gives you an inspired action to take. Example, one day, I'll just use the lottery as an example. So you're manifesting, you're seeing, you're doing your visuals of the lottery, and then one day you happen to walk and your subconscious mind, boom, nudges you and says, hey, let's go into this store here, buy this ticket. You just took inspired action. You buy the ticket, it's a winning ticket, boom, millions of dollars. Let's use another example. You get a dream, you communicate with your higher self, you get a dream of numbers. You go into the store, you play those numbers. You took the action of what? Seeing the dream, listening to the dream, boom, winning the ticket. Okay, that's what it is. Now I'll make another video down the line about the higher self, the super conscious part of our mind. How do we get into that realm? Okay, that part of the mind, the higher self creates. That's another level. That's the level that will take you to the top. And that's what I do when I get the coaching sessions. I take you to that level. And when you get to that level, man, it opens up, because now you're with the what? You're in the world of all-knowing. Super conscious mind is the mind of the all-knowing. Okay, guys? So remember, awareness begins understanding. Understanding begins power, knowledge, and creation. Okay, guys? So thank you guys again, and continue to manifest.